Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to power up your Python skills. We're diving into dictionaries and tuples to show you some seriously efficient ways to handle your data. You'll be writing cleaner, more professional code in no time. All right, let's just jump right in. We have all been there, haven't we? You've got this Python dictionary, it's packed with all this useful data, but trying to get that data out again in a loop can feel, kind of clunky, a little messy. Well, don't worry, because today we're going to clean that right up. So first things first, let's get down to the absolute foundation, looping. You gotta know how Python handles dictionaries by default before you can really start using its power features. And here it is, the single most important thing to remember. When you write a standard for loop for a dictionary, it doesn't give you everything. By default, it only gives you the keys. That's it. This one behavior is the starting point for everything else we're about to cover. So let's look at this super simple piece of code. We've got our dictionary, D, and we just do a for K in D and print K. And what do we get? Just A, B, and C. See? No values in sight, just the keys. That's Python's default behavior, plain and simple. But what if you don't want just the keys? What if you need the values? Or maybe you need both at the same time? Well, that's where our toolkit comes in. Let's look at the three main ways you can get exactly what you need out of your dictionaries. So, think of this as your iteration toolkit. First, you've got the default, right? Just looping by key. Then we've got two special tools, .values when you only want the values, and .items when you need the whole shebang, the key and the value together. Oh, and here's a little pro tip for you. These methods give you back something called view objects. All that really means is they're super memory efficient. They don't wastefully copy all your data into a new list. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, let's break them down one by one. First up, .values. This is your go-to when you really could not care less about the keys. Maybe you just need to add up a bunch of numbers or grab a list of names. This method gives you a direct pipeline to just the values, totally ignoring the keys. And check out how this works in practice. It's the same dictionary as before, but now we're explicitly saying for v in d.values. And look at the output. It's completely different. We've totally bypassed the keys and printed only the good stuff. 1, 2, and 3. Super, super useful. And now for the real powerhouse method, .items. This is the one you pull out when you absolutely need both the key and its value at the exact same time inside your loop. What it does is hand them to you neatly packaged together as a pair. And here's a little foreshadowing. It gives them to you as a tuple. Okay, now look closely at this code. This is where the magic happens. See that 4kv part? That is not an accident. It's a huge Python power-up. Because .items hands us a neat little pair of data, we can instantly, bam, assign each piece to its own variable, right there in the loop. This is incredibly powerful, and trust me, we're going to dig into exactly how this works in just a moment. All right, theory is great and all, but let's make this stuff real. It is time to get our hands dirty. We're going to use what we just learned to solve a really common practical problem. Finding an average from data that's stuck inside a dictionary. So here's a little challenge for you. Look at this data. Using the tools we've just talked about, how would you go about calculating the average score? Think about it. Which method would be the cleanest, the most efficient way to get the job done? And here's our data set, just a simple dictionary of student scores. The names are the keys and their scores are the values. Our only goal is to find the average of 85, 92, and 78. For this calculation, we don't need the names at all, right? We just need those numbers. And here it is, the beautiful, elegant, Pythonic solution. Check this out. We don't even need to write our own for loop. We can just grab all the scores using .values and feed them directly into Python's built-in sum function. It's clean, it's so easy to read, and it's wicked fast. This right here is why knowing your tools is a game changer. Okay, so remember a minute ago when I pointed out that weird-looking 4kv syntax? I told you we'd come back to it. Well, it's time to unlock the secret weapon that makes it all possible. Let's talk about tuple unpacking. Tuple unpacking is one of those amazing Python features that once you see it, you'll start seeing uses for it everywhere. The concept is actually really simple. You take a sequence of items, like a tuple, and you assign each of those items to its own variable, all in one clean, single line of code. And this comparison just says it all, doesn't it? On the left, we've got the old way. You have to access each item using its index. point 0, point 1. I mean, it works, but it's kind of clunky. Now look at the right, the Pythonic way. X comma Y equals point. Boom, one line. It's not just shorter, it's so much clearer. It says exactly what you're trying to do. And this slide right here brings it all home. This is exactly what's going on under the hood when we use dot items. That method is giving us a sequence of these little key value tuples. And our 4k.v loop is performing tuple unpacking on every single one of them, automatically separating the key and the value for us. That's the magic. Okay, you've seen the tools, you've learned the techniques. Now it is time to put that brand new knowledge to the test. Let's do a quick final challenge to make sure all this stuff really sticks. First question. Take a second and look at this code. What is it going to print? I want you to think all the way back to the very first thing we talked about. What's the default behavior? All right, you got it? The correct answer is B. A standard for loop, by default, iterates over the dictionary's keys. So it's going to print 1, 2, and 3. Okay, next up, let's play Spot the Imposter. 3 of these are totally valid ways to loop through a dictionary. One of them's going to throw an error. Which one is it? And if you pick D, you are absolutely right. There is no such thing as a .tuples method in Python. If you want those key value pairs, the method you're looking for is .items. And for our grand finale, this one combines everything. We're looping, we're unpacking, and we're even doing a little bit of math. So what's the final output going to be here? The answer is B. See what's happening? The loop unpacks each tuple. So in the first round, K becomes A and V becomes 1. We then print A and 1 times 2, which gives us A2. The exact same thing happens for the second tuple. And that's a wrap. You know, mastering iteration and unpacking, this is a massive step towards writing really clean, efficient, and professional Python code. It reminds me of what the great B.B. King once said. The beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take it away from you. Now that you've got this down, maybe it's time to explore dictionary comprehensions next. Keep building those skills. Thanks for joining me.